Woohoo! And we're live once again on another Tuesday. And I got my co-pilot in the house today. Woohoo! The LinkedIn guru, Jeff Young. Always love, love, love when Jeff joins the show. So, Jeff, just in case anybody doesn't know you, please introduce yourself and then we'll get stuck in.
Sure. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you happen to be in the universe. Namaste. My name is Jeff Young, and I am the LinkedIn guru. My network calls me that. And if you look guru up in the dictionary, you see the word teacher, and that's exactly what I do. I teach LinkedIn, and I've been doing it for about 15 years now. If you look at the qualifications of what those 15 years entail, it means that I've done between 900 and 1,000 seminars, and I've actually had 18,000 to 20,000 different students. And I'm going to keep doing it until somebody tells me to stop. I just love being a teacher. Namaste.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you for being here. So our topic today is hidden features on LinkedIn and how to find them. And first of all, we want to clarify hidden features are not necessarily new features, correct? These are the Easter eggs that are like hidden within LinkedIn. It's kind of appropriate time of year to use Easter eggs, but it's true. Sometimes a new feature feels like a hidden feature because other people have it before you do, or you don't know it's there. But we're not talking about new features. That would be Kevin D. Turner. We're talking about hidden features that are already there, Jeff. I was going to call you Josh. I don't know why. I guess I'm just joshing with you. So let's kick it off. With all those seminars and all those trainings that you do, first of all, kick us off with what's the number one feature that people are like, I don't know where to find this. Let's start with that one.
Well, almost every single time I've done a seminar, I have getting up in front of people or on a Zoom call, I've asked people to tell me where the help button is. And it's one of those Easter eggs. It's like, unless you know and have been there before, it's like, it's a little difficult to find. I mean, even if you do find it, it's a couple of clicks, layers deep, etc. So the way that I tell people to, and by the way, as a teacher, I know you've heard me say this before, okay, I've always said that if I give you a fish, I feed you for a day. If I teach you to fish, I feed you for the rest of your life. And that's what help will do, is help you to fish on LinkedIn. So we're going to concentrate on how the other features, we're going to tell you how to find the help on those features as well. Okay. But what I always tell people is that if you're looking for the help button, think about what you're asking LinkedIn to do. You're saying, LinkedIn, help me, help me, help me. Yes. And there is a me button up there on every screen, no matter where you are. And if you click the me button, look down a little ways, you'll see the help center, and you can click the help center. Now that's on the desktop. I'm going to give you some things about what's on the mobile as well. But if you click the help there, then one of the things that I do is it opens up a small little window. And I almost always recommend that you use that little bottom link that says open the help in a new tab. Okay, on your browser, because it gives you a whole bunch more real estate to work with. You get to see a whole lot more results to your help than you would in just that little itty bitty window. So, and I'm not an itty bitty little window kind of person. I like being full screen. So that will help you, and then you can type in something. Then you can type in something to search for. Now, it's even more hidden on the mobile. Okay, on the mobile, it's there, but what you have to do is on the mobile, when you tap on your actual profile picture in the upper left-hand corner, okay, down the side, it will then open up a little window that will have something that says settings. It doesn't even say help. It says settings, okay? If you tap settings, that will then open up another one. And on the Android, it will open up the help, okay? And here's another interesting difference, because these are 3 separate platforms, okay? So it works the same up to what I've just talked about now on the iPad or iOS, okay? But when you say settings on the iPad, it opens up the help, but it just shows you a whole bunch of topics, and it does not allow you to do a search from that page. You believe this? Yeah, I would have thought. iOS is not as helpful as Android? Well, okay, in this case, it's not. It's one case.
Wow.
What you actually end up having to do, again, more hidden stuff, is that on that iPad page where the help shows up, it's just got a bunch of categories, no search capability. You actually have to tap the three dots and tell it to open the help in a browser on your iPad so that you can now, inside the browser, actually do a search for something by typing it in. Is that nuts?
Wow.
What?
That's nuts.
No
That's
wonder why
nuts.
I never used the mobile device. It's
Yeah.
so much more difficult. Okay.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, carrying on the theme of help, a lot of times we need customer support. That's the number one thing that I'm always going, how do I open a help ticket? Just
Right.
like how do I, it's like the help didn't help me, a lot of times it does. And and I always look for the date to see when the topic was updated, because if it's a couple of years ago, then and also too, sometimes I need the iOS, and I do appreciate that they do that they break down, and it's like, here's the desktop, here's the iOS, here's the Android. So I do
Yeah.
appreciate that with
Yeah.
LinkedIn, but sometimes the help topics aren't that helpful and I
Understood.
need help. So how do I contact customer support?
Right. Well, honestly, what I've ended up doing, again, from a desktop perspective, if you go to the help, if you scan around far enough, you'll see something that actually says "Contact Us" down at the bottom, and even that won't necessarily get you. It's probably two or three more taps away. Okay. So what I have done here is, again, another not hidden feature, but it's not a feature of LinkedIn. It's just a feature of the browser. I have, if you want to know how to contact customer support, send me a DM and I'll send you the direct link that will take you directly to customer support, and you can then actually put in your problem and describe your problem. Yeah, exactly. So that way it's just one click away. LinkedIn loves to hide stuff like that, and it's usually two or three taps or clicks away. And I don't use it that way. I have got that on speed dial, so I can tap one thing, go do what I need to do. And there's a lot of things that are like
I love it. I love it on speed dial. Okay, so we talked about help. I'm thinking the Beatles now. I got the Beatles song in my head. So, okay, please help me, help me, help me. I love that. So that's how I'll remember it, is the Beatles songs, help me. Okay, so we talked about help, customer support. What's another one that comes up in your seminars?
a lot of times. The one that I think is really important, but LinkedIn never advertises, never says anything about, and I try to put it out there a lot as well in my seminars, is the one that is getting a backup of your information. Some people
Mm,
don't even know that you can actually, and oh, by the way, unfortunately, here again, this is the difference between the platforms. You can't do what we're talking about here. You can't get a backup of your data from a mobile app. It's not
mm,
possible. You have to do
mm,
this from the desktop. Now, in order to do that, if you go again to me and then click settings and privacy and then click data privacy, three clicks away already, right? Okay. Yeah. Well, and after data privacy, then you will actually see where it will ask you, you can get a copy of your data. Here again, what I've done in those instances is get that copy of get that bookmark that takes me directly to that. And then you can actually click the fact that you need to download the copy of your data. Can't be done on a mobile device, but can be done easily on a on the desktop and on the desktop browser. So
mm.
again, that's a hidden feature, and it's the reason it's important is that a backup of my data has saved my butt many times, believe me, because of the fact that I may have messed up my about section, or I might have messed up my headline. Okay. And all I got to do to get it back the way it was before I made any changes and messed it up, is go back to my backup, open the backup, copy and paste it back into LinkedIn, and then start over. But I don't have to remember what section, what did I talk about in my about section? Did I miss something? Etc. So having that backup is extremely important. It's one of my favorite things to do. As a matter of fact, I just did it again this morning.
That's
I,
cool.
I recommend people do it at least once a month. Some people don't do it any more than once a quarter, but I'm active enough on LinkedIn that I want that more current backup of all that information. And it's got all kinds of stuff out there. It's got all the things you've shared. It's got all your connections and when you connected with them. It's got all your messages, it's etc. It's tons of data. As a matter of fact, one of our buddies, I'll give a shout out. He probably won't even see this, but Craig Langley, okay, over in the
Mm,
UK, is a guy who actually took all those files that it downloads, and he was actually able to build a system that looked at it and told you when you had messaged somebody, how long it had been, and maybe that you might want to think about getting back in touch with that person. So he
that's
he
smart.
he had a system to manipulate that data that was from the backup in the first place.
Right, right. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And just as a reminder too, there's the full backup, which takes like 24 hours. And you got to be on top of that one because if you get it and you don't go and download it, it like disappears. So you've only
Yeah,
got like a
yeah.
little bit of time to act on it. But
There's actually two
that is,
versions. One you get in
yeah,
10 minutes, and then the full backup you get in within 24 hours.
yeah.
And honestly, here's again, not long ago, some of my peeps, okay, our fellow LinkedIn trainers, et cetera, were actually they brought up a topic, and I put out I did a customer service case on this. They actually noticed that there are over 40 files in that backup, in that full one,
Oh,
over 40 different little files. Well, they noticed that one of them was missing. It was a file called shares.csv, and it all of a sudden stopped showing up in the full backup.
wow.
Oh, it's
Wow.
back now, but
That's your posts, right?
yep,
That's your posts,
yep.
which sounds weird because you think
Why
that
would I
that's
not
going to
want to have
be.
that data, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
because like you would think, oh, shares is like things I've shared. And if I don't share things or repost, but it's
Yep,
not, it's your
yep,
posts. It's
yeah,
so it's like I know I'll do that to try and find a video. If I'm like, okay, I can only scroll for so long and I'll go insane. So I'll go into that and then you get it and you can actually take that URL and then go find the video. So that's a good
absolutely.
one. And that reminds me, like I think getting those data archives because that's another phrase, right? You can call it, backing up your
Oh,
data or a
thank you
data
for
archive.
reminding me. Yeah. When you want to search for the help and what we've been talking about as far as the data archive is concerned, go to the help and put in the phrase download archive.
Okay.
Okay, because that will help you get to the link as quickly as possible and the help on it. Thank you for reminding
Okay.
me,
Okay. That
because you
that's
have to
good to
search for
know.
the right thing in order to find it as well on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
Duh,
because otherwise you could go, I'm searching for backup and I don't see a backup. It's
might
not.
not be
It's
there.
really it's just getting a data archive. But that's a good thing to do if you're like going to do a lot of like, oh, I want to optimize my profile, I want to update it, I want to do stuff. Do that first.
Yep.
But another thing too is it reminded me of this is that you can also get like almost a PDF of well, it's not almost a PDF. It is a PDF of a person's profile,
Yours
which
or
is
anyone else's.
yeah, which is a great thing if you're going to make changes. And it's also just another way to look at your profile. Like some of us like to print things out or see it in that kind of format. So if you're going to maybe do some changes to your profile, get that PDF so
Yeah.
that you can really see what it looks like. And that's when you can go, oh, look
Yep.
at all the old companies I'm using in my profile that I don't work for anymore and stuff.
That one is on your profile under the more button. Okay. So if you go to your profile and click more, then you should be able to see the option of doing a PDF, getting a PDF of anyone else's file. So it's under the more button for anyone else as well, but it's under yours. And now don't think that this is a straight copy of everything as well, because here's the one thing that about a PDF that people need to realize is that when I, for example, do a PDF of my profile, the things that don't show up are the emojis that you put anywhere. They're special characters and
Ah,
they don't translate to the PDF. So all
ah,
your text is there, but not your emojis. So depending on how much you've used emojis, that may or may not work as well for you. And I'd keep it to a fairly minimum, okay? Because I don't put any more than my normal emojis, okay?
right, right, right.
This one and this one, okay? Oh, this one, okay, in there. So it's not a lot,
Is
but
that a desktop only feature of
the
getting that
PDF,
PDF?
that's a good question.
I
I don't
don't
know.
know
I'd
if you
have to
can.
look. I
Okay,
don't.
okay. So
I
so
think
so,
it's if it's under the more button there, it makes sense that it would be only a desktop feature, because although you can download a PDF to your phone, so yeah, it
yeah,
might be there.
yeah.
I don't
It's
know. I'd have to look.
yeah. Those are one of some of the ones. Okay, so what's another one that comes up in your trainings?
a lot of times one that comes up is one that, again, it's hidden because people don't see it for themselves. Okay. It's profile visibility. And if you're going to look this up under help, look up the words profile visibility. What I'm
Okay.
talking about here is that you can show many times I see it and I see a gray head instead of what it's supposed to be a profile picture because of the fact that a person has mistakenly or didn't think about it, okay, has only shown their profile photo to their connections. Now you might want to do that,
Mm,
but I
mm,
recommend making sure that your profile photo shows to all people on LinkedIn at least. And I even did a video about this one. I recommend that your profile shows to anyone because that would be then even someone who's not even on LinkedIn would see your profile photo as well. Here again, here's another one that's slightly different, but the way you get to it, okay, is you go to your LinkedIn profile, both on both the mobile and desktop. You click on your profile and you click edit the profile photo. Okay. Now, of course, you could have a profile video with that as well, but you select profile photo. Once you do that, it brings up a small window, and then in that window, down on the I think it's the lower left-hand side, but down on the bottom, okay, you'll find a button that you can tap and then select your visibility. And
mhm,
on the desktop, I make sure that it shows anyone, okay, which
mm,
means anybody on LinkedIn or anybody off LinkedIn. Now, by the way, it's pretty much the same process. Tap your photo, okay, edit your profile photo on the mobile app as well. But the mobile app has that button, but they don't even call it the same thing. On the app, no, it's not called anyone, it's called public. So if you
ah,
want to make your profile public, profile photo public, you have to tap public on the mobile app. So that's another one. And again, it's a personal preference, but again, my preference is to be seen, especially by more than just my connections.
oh,
Okay,
yeah.
because of the fact that if someone wants to connect with me, and they go to my profile and all they see is the gray head, they're gonna go, what's he hiding? Why isn't he showing his face out here, right? Well, okay, when you look at my face, you probably understand why I'm not showing my face out here. But anyway, but I recommend that people actually show their profile photo to everyone. Okay, and that means
And it's
people.
important in lives like this because when we display comments on the screen, you're going to show up as a blank head. Now, if there was a situation where you could use this to your advantage. So if you were going to maybe you had some questions, but you didn't want to be identified, you might want to do the reverse. So just know that you have the power. We recommend you be visible, but if you have a reason to not be visible, it can be used either way, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And some people might even think of it from a security standpoint, and they don't want their picture showing because of security. I'm not really as concerned about that with my photo as I would be with some of the other data. Okay, which
Right.
again, the other data like contact information and those kind of things. I'll keep some of those. I only show my phone number, for example, and or my email to people who are connected with me, and you get a choice with that one as well. But
That's
but
true.
that makes sense to me in terms of not being spam. But if they see my picture, are they going to spam me more? Yeah, probably not. So as
No.
a matter of fact, I might scare them away. Okay, but anyway.
Now, that same place where you do your showing your photo, is that also where you can kind of go into, they call it stealth mode, that if you wanted to maybe you had a job, for instance, and you were looking at, you wanted to look at other jobs, but you didn't kind of want other people going, "Oh, what's he doing here?" There are times, or even if you're doing maybe some market research on your competitors, if you're a business person, sometimes you might want to not be visible to other people. Is that where you do this sort of turn, people can't
No,
see who
actually,
you
that's a
are?
different place as well. That is a profile visibility that talks about it from the standpoint of when you viewed someone's profile, what shows up. Okay, so that's
Okay.
a totally different
A
setting. Okay,
totally different
exactly. LinkedIn's
setting.
got a setting for everything. So literally, you can turn that off to be semi-anonymous or totally anonymous, and that has nothing to do with your profile photo. Okay, other
Mhm.
than because all that really is talking about is that when you view someone's profile, are you viewing it anonymously or not? Okay. And that's totally different than your profile photo.
Okay. So do you have another one with us, and then we'll hop over to some comments in a second?
Yeah, let's talk about one that I think, let's do this one, because I think this is one that people, especially in recent times, the groups themselves is a hidden feature on LinkedIn. Okay. But the point being is that, because not a lot of people seem to be using groups a lot. I still love my group. I still get a lot of interaction in my group, but if you got a group that you like, okay, let's combine two of them here. Okay. If you got a group that you liked, go to the group, and here's a feature that most people don't know. And I remind people actually when they join my group, is that search bar up in the upper left-hand corner when you're sitting on a group will allow you to search for keywords or phrases only in the group. So it's not like doing an outside of the group search that goes across all of LinkedIn. It allows you to search for a topic on the group, which then might show you the posts that were from that topic. So you can search for a keyword and find that one as well, right? Okay, so that's a use of groups that people don't make, and I like that, as a hidden feature, because of the fact that it really focuses you on the topic, because groups are usually for a particular interest area.
Right.
Now, second one, okay, is another thing that people don't remember about groups, and we'll just finish this one off within groups, is that inside of the group is also a notifications bell. It's up at the top of the group homepage, and if you click that bell, you get the choice of always, sometimes, or never. Okay, as far as seeing posts from that, because it gives you 3 sets. It says, I want to see every post that's new on this group. I want to see the top things that are coming from this group, or I don't want to see any posts from this group at all. And again, I keep my group memberships down. I don't have a lot of groups, but the ones I do have, I do want to hear what's going on in them. So I turn that bell on from the standpoint of inside of a group. And to look this one up, by the way, to find out how to do in the help, okay, search inside a group will allow you to find that one about search. And this one is group notifications. Search for that term in help, and group notifications will point you to the bell and how you can manage that bell inside of the group. Okay.
Wow. And then that's going to show up in your notification or your news feed, or both?
No, just notifications, because
Okay.
the group notifications is telling LinkedIn to tell me when a post has happened inside of that group. So if it's not that active a group, you won't have that many anyway. But because again, if it's only 1 or 2 posts a week, that you'll get 1 or 2 more notifications a week. That's all.
Okay. And then I guess another hidden feature of groups is that it opens up some networking for you, that if you're in a group and you're not necessarily connected to that person, you can actually send them a message because you're both in the group together. You should use that wisely. Don't be spamming everybody. You're going to be thrown out of the group.
Yeah.
But that's a really good way for you to get to know people that maybe you're sharing a common interest with, because why are you in that group? You're in it for a reason. So
being able
a
to
good thing to know.
DM someone who's in a group that's not a connection has always been there. It's been a feature that's been around for almost ever since groups were invented. Okay. Oh, and by the way, here's another one. Okay. If the group administrator has allowed this to happen, if you have got a group that you feel is particularly helpful to you, there's an invite connections to the group up in the upper right-hand corner, and you can invite any of your connections to join that group as well. That's how honestly how my group has expanded a great deal, is because some of the members of my group have actually gone out and invited other people that they said, this is helpful, go join this group. So you can invite anybody to a group that you are a member of, as long as the admin has allowed that to happen.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. So we'll put a link afterwards to your group in the comments, so that people can join, because it's a public group. You don't charge anything for that. It's completely free, it's open to the public.
It's open, and
but you run it nicely in that it doesn't get carried away with spam, because you go into some groups and you're just like, oh
no, I don't allow that. I don't allow any self-promotion. I don't allow anybody to sell anything at all.
Okay.
It's
No,
about
that
LinkedIn. It's the point being is if you want to know more about LinkedIn tips, it's about LinkedIn tips. So I try to make sure that there's a linkage to some sort of tip inside of every post that's done.
okay. So speaking of LinkedIn tips,
Front
ah,
row, I knew it.
Kevin is in the waiting room, which
He
is
was in the waiting room, and that put him in the front row. I must be in the front row. You and Bobby.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And Kevin, I don't think we could call Kevin a hidden feature because who doesn't know Kevin? You know, really,
Yeah,
Kevin D.
absolutely.
Turner, who doesn't know Kevin? But he's kind of the king of new
New
features.
feature.
And so if you see something, this is the man you want to go let know. And if you have a question, because every once in a while I'll just say, is this a new feature? And he'll say, yep, it was an issue such and such.
Well, and if
Like
you're wondering if it's a new feature or not, Kevin's got a great newsletter that he continues to add things to. So he's adding to the 2023, and I don't know what the count is by now, but it's got to be at least 100 changes that he has up there. So you can scan and search his newsletter to see whether or not you've got anything that's there. Oh, and I'll give Kevin kudos as well for one other thing. Okay, Kevin always does a really good job of when he's announcing that new feature of calling it what LinkedIn calls it. So therefore,
Mm.
that's another way that you can actually find help about it as well. Because if you use the term that Kevin uses, you're going to find the help because LinkedIn used that term.
Bright, smart. That's a good one. I like that. I like that. Okay. So, Kevin, you're doing great work. Okay. Mary Woo, woo, woo and woo. I
Got
think
it.
I'm here early enough for a front row seat. Kevin
Welcome,
nabbed
Mary.
it. Kevin nabbed it. I think, Jeff, I think you gave him like your hall pass or something. Got him in early. Got him in early. Nick Adams says, Kevin D. Turner, can't see you yet. Okay. Okay. So yeah, the waiting room, that's a whole new feature,
That
which
is a new
is just,
feature that
yeah,
some
that,
people might not realize is there as well. Yep.
yeah. So that's just kind of a cool thing. Catchy soundtrack. Thank
He
you,
must have been in the
Fred.
front
Thank
row.
you,
Thanks,
Fred.
Fred.
Oh, we love our little soundtrack. It starts the show, makes us dance. Do you want a window or an aisle? I always love the fun that we have. Hi, Lynn. Thanks for joining us today. Hi, guys from Phoenix. I always love my Phoenix peeps in the house because it's my second place. It's like one of my second places to go. Thanks, Al, for joining us today. Niraj is here. Greetings from
Way to go,
Ireland.
Niraj.
Lovely to see
Welcome.
you, Jillian and Jeff. Oh, we always love Niraj. He's
Absolutely.
great. He's great. He's great. Catherine says,
Ah,
"Hello, heroes. Lovely to see you both." And she is just lovely, just
kindness
lovely.
is Catherine.
Yes. Hello from sunny Ohio, sort
Oh,
of
Ohio
sunny,
people.
says Jen. So are you having sunshine today? Because you're
It
from
is actually
Ohio
turning into
too.
sun. It was kind of gloomy all morning, but now that we've gotten to the noon time frame, it's getting better out there. Yes.
Yay. Maybe spring has sprung. Wouldn't that be nice? New York City, New York City. Oh, but there's a lot going on there today, and we won't talk about that. Just keep moving. Good morning, LinkedIn
Superstar.
superstars, Jeff and Jillian. Oh, lovely. And we appreciate Mick because he's staying up late because he's across the pond. So
Yeah,
we're talking about good morning, and
I
it's
know.
like supper time over there. Hi, Jeff.
Ah,
Laura is here in
yeah,
Georgia.
Hotlanta. Laura is here from Hotlanta.
We love it. We love it. Hello from the UK. I love all the people from all over and I think this is really good is that these features are, they're everywhere. They're for all of us. And while we kind of always have that like FOMO with the new features, because, sometimes it can take, like I saw somebody the other day that just said, yay, I got scheduled posts. And I said, oh my gosh, like
Yeah, I
that's
know. How
been
long have we had that,
like
right?
how
Yeah,
long have you
exactly.
been waiting for that? Like sometimes you get into a situation where a lot of times, Jeff, you're out, you're training people, you're talking to people, and you don't even have the feature yet. So
I
you're
know.
just like, let me just pull up Kevin's newsletter. I can
Yeah,
show you.
yeah, because they're asking me about it, and I can't even show it to them. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and there's frustrating times too when something will come out and it's like, oh, if you're an if you're on the old version, you're going to use this link. If you're on the new version, you're going to use that link. I think your visibility with your photo was one of those where for a while it was just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
there's so many
Yeah.
different ways.
Hi,
John
Liz.
Asperian,
Hey, John.
the man. Good to see you. About to have supper with Lady Lois and Poppy.
Give Poppy a pat on the head for me. Well, you can give Lois a pat on the head for me too if you want to, I guess. But anyway.
Okay, and we have hello from Maggie in Maine. It's just
recently.
Wonderful to have all these wonderful people. Oh, we
There's
got
Debbie.
Debbie here. Love those stats, Jeff Young. Yes, yes, yes. And here's Kevin Turner. Help!
Yeah, that was the Beatles song. Yeah,
and it's so true. But I'm going to always remember that. Help me, help me, help me.
Help me. Help me, Obi-Wan, especially help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
So we've come to the end of our 30 minutes, Jeff. It always just goes zooming by. So, okay. So hidden features, what's your final takeaway? You've got a newsletter issue that talked with this. We talked about maybe you might do an update because that one was a couple years ago and things are always changing.
Yeah.
And so what's your sort of number one takeaway for everybody today?
I think one of the things that you never know what's there. Okay, so ask somebody. Ask a Kevin or ask a me. Okay, ask the guru. Stump the guru if you can. If you want to know about trying to do something. But more than anything else, I think people ask me how I found this stuff. You know what? And the way I found this stuff is just kind of wandering around. I mean, literally, if you want to try to find more of the hidden features on LinkedIn, I recommend that you click the 3 dots or you click a more button wherever you see it on LinkedIn. That's really the best idea that I've ever found to find something that, I'm saying what I'm saying as a teacher, what I love to hear as well, because I love to hear it when somebody says, oh, I didn't know it could do that. And I find more stuff that way than I ever would by just doing my normal routine. So, well, and in teaching it back to the fishing analogy, cast around every once in a while. Okay, you never know what you might find.
I love that. I love that. And I know that one of the things I learned from you is if you see something, then bookmark it because you may not find it again. So for instance, I always forget where my newsletter drafts are or my items that my saved posts. And it's like getting to the screen that shows the my items. I always remember it's in my items, but it's like, what screen is that?
Where is that? Right?
Yeah, where is that? So it's like, just recognize that if you look up at the top and you look in the URL, that's bookmarkable. And so if you go, I'm going to forget this.
Absolutely.
Then yes, admit it, bookmark it, save it.
That is great advice. I mean, bookmark. That's the way that at least you'll find your way back. You don't even have to spread breadcrumbs along the way. Okay. Right. You can always just get to it with one click, which again, I'm all about being effective on LinkedIn. And instead of 3 or 4 clicks, 1 click is what I'm after every single time.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Okay, well, thank you for being here today, Jeff, and sharing your wisdom about LinkedIn and all the fun stuff that we have. We, of course, will address the rest of the comments afterwards because Jeff and I always do our homework, so we always stay on and we'll address everybody. So whether you're here live or on the replay, put your questions in. We will tackle them. We will answer them as best that we can.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Gillian. It's been a pleasure, as always, to sit and chat with you.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.